Many men try to win over women with gifts, looks, or charm, and that's the reason they're being ignored. But Machiavelli saw more profoundly. He understood something more serious, something most men never understand. The aim isn't to be loved, it's to be unforgettable. Not by pleasing her, but by controlling what she experiences when you've disappeared. In this video, you will learn 6 dark psychological concepts inspired by Machiavelli, meant to stimulate obsession without saying a word of praise. No chasing, no pleading for love. You will discover how to become the guy she cannot define but also can't stop thinking about. Watch attentively, because once you understand how this works, you will never play the game like an ordinary man again. The power of fear over love. There's a quote by Machiavelli that many men disregard, not because it's not right, but because it's awkward. It is considerably safer to be feared than loved. At first glance, this sounds harsh, like something only someone with malicious intent would believe. But look attentively, not at what people say, but at what they do. Observe how women behave around different kinds of men, and unexpectedly, the line makes sense. Love can feel inviting, soft, and compassionate. It's the emotion we all desire but also the one we easily take for granted. If love is always available, always generous, and always gentle, it loses its value. It turns into background noise, safe, but also forgettable. And here's where many men fall. They believe love is enough. They feel that if they offer more and open up more, she will appreciate it. But what happens? She stops feeling it. Because what is freely offered without challenge has no power. Now comes fear. Not something that causes pain, not screaming, not control, not violence. That's weakness striving to seem like strength, and ladies can sense it. True fear is when a man sets boundaries so solid that she senses them without him uttering a word. He does not have to raise his voice. He doesn't have to defend himself. He doesn't need to justify his worth. He just moves away. And silence shows her what words never could. This guy doesn't chase. He doesn't explain why he was hurt. He just lets her feel his absence. And that absence stings worse than any emotional surge. Because the instant she finds out he is serious, the game shifts. She knows he is not going to break his own rules just to keep her. She knows that if she disrespects him, she loses him. And that's when attraction turns into obsession, not because he gave her more, but because he was ready to give nothing when his values were breached. That is fear, not the fear of a man, but the fear of losing someone whom she can't control. And here's the psychological fact: many women aren't obsessed with being loved. They are obsessed with the man who doesn't need their affection to be fulfilled. That's the reason why women chase the man who walks away. Master the image. Machiavelli once said something brutally clear and terrifyingly real: it is not important to be good. It is important to look good. This one statement breaks the spell that many men live under. Because from childhood, we are programmed in a lie: when you are nice, loyal, diligent, and trustworthy, people will value you. Women will desire you. The universe will reward you, but it will not. Because the world doesn't see your reality. It sees your presentation. You may be loyal. You may be highly intelligent. You may have profound values and noble determination, but if you position yourself with weak posture, awkward tone, and nervous energy, nobody will feel your value, particularly not a woman. Because female attraction does not start with facts. It starts with perceptions. Not, what are you, but, what do I feel whenever I'm around you? She is not examining your logic. She is evaluating your energy, the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you react when challenged. And that's when image becomes power. This is not about lying. This isn't about pretending to be a person you are not. It's about framing. Because people don't react to reality. They react to what feels real. And if you don't control how you're perceived, somebody else, her emotions, her perceptions, her past, will describe you for her. Therefore, what does this mean in action? When you feel hesitant, stand like a guy who is confident. If you feel anger, talk like a guy who controls fire. If you want to chase her, do nothing. Let her come to you. Because calmness is power. An enigma is attraction. Let her see 85% of who you are. Keep the rest behind your eyes. Let her curiosity fill in the empty spaces. And what she creates in her thoughts will always be much more powerful than whatever you say. Because enigma is attractive. And humans don't chase what they completely understand. They chase what they can't comprehend. This is how obsession starts, not with sharing too much, but with silence. Be the lion and the fox. Every woman will test you, not to hurt you, but to see whether you break down. She will change her voice. She will pull away. She will turn cold, then warm, then cold again. She will say one thing and do something else. And all of it is to see one thing: do you crumble, or do you remain firm? Many men don't even realize they're being tested. They assume she is confused or emotional. Therefore, they explain. They apologize. They try to mend problems with words. And just like that, they lose the game. But Machiavelli, many years ago, provided the blueprint: a strong man has to be both a lion and a fox. The lion is power. He doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. He sets boundaries with his silence. He dominates the room without raising his voice. The fox is wisdom. He doesn't react to bait. He doesn't expose his hand. He listens and strikes when the situation is clean. And here's the trap that many men fall into: if you are only the lion, powerful, straightforward, and forceful, she'll find a way to provoke you. And when you react, she considers you as unstable. Your strength becomes noise. If you are only the fox, smart, calm, and calculating, she'll feel your charisma, but not your spine. And without that passion, she won't trust you to take charge. But if you are both, if she sees power in your calmness and calculation in your stillness, she won't know how to predict you. And that ambiguity, that tension, that's what grips her deeper than words ever could. Therefore, how do you represent both? When she is emotional, be the fox. Watch, don't react. Let her test crash against your calmness. When she crosses a boundary, be the lion. Not with rage, not with threats, but with presence. A calmness that says, "This is my boundary, and I won't move." Divide her world. Machiavelli's fundamental law of power was clear: divide and conquer. But this is not only for empires. It acts softly inside the human mind. You don't control a lady by force. You don't fight her opinions directly. You cede. Because when she is curious, confused, or hesitant, her emotions become open. And with that openness, your influence develops. Don't fight her opinions. Just tap them once with calmness. Then allow silence to do the work. She will disagree with herself. And without knowing it, you have invaded her mind. Not as a danger, but as an enigma. Uncertainty, and let her do the rest. Because if a woman feels confident, she is in control. She knows what she wants. She feels safe. Your aim: not to shatter her beliefs, but to make her doubt them. Just one little, unexpected change. Not an argument, a suggestion. She says, "I despise jealous men." You grin, calm and playful, that's what you think. Now, just one statement forms a crack, small, innocent, but profound. Now her thoughts start spinning: what did he mean? Do I truly believe that? Why did that linger in my mind? That is how division starts. Not between you and her, but within her. When part of her still agrees with herself, but another part begins to wonder, she loses control of the story. And you? You are the person who planted it. This is not about control through pressure. It's control through psychological strain. Many men avoid this. They hurry to agree with her, to be loved. They make her feel secure, validated, and confident. But certainty does not attract. Tension does.